consumes your time, consumes your heart, distracts you from what is important, derails you from the things that get you closer to Allah. How many people attack me? Hundreds and thousands. Who cares? Dogs that bark don't bite. I don't have the energy nor the time to respond, especially on social media, when there are those who are known as keyboard knights with a K. So they're gallant, they're courageous. Oh, this sheikh is a milkshake. He is a dollar per, I don't know, petrodollar, I think they call me. And they keep on slandering and saying bad things about me. He's a sheikh of the palace, he's this, he's that. Who cares? They can't come and confront me. They're good from behind the keyboard. And they're good in doing this with everybody else because, again, dogs that bark don't bite. So don't waste your time refuting, defending, rejecting. Those who want knowledge according to Quran and the Sunnah, they know where to get it. Does this mean that everything I say is correct? No. I'm a human being. Who am I? I'm a nobody. So you look at what I say, cross-examine it with the Quran and the Sunnah. Use your logic. And if they say, you know, this guy is doing this, what's the problem with saying that Taraweeh, which a woman does in her home, is called Qiyamul Layl? It's not Taraweeh. Show me where the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that this prayer in Ramadan is called Taraweeh. Interesting. They will not find any hadith that supports this. So why are we fighting? This is what shaitan does. To consume your energy, to derail you from your mission and vision, and to distract you from what is important. We don't have time for this. And again, do not defend me because I'm not infallible. I'm a human being. All students of knowledge and da'is and scholars and imams are not infallible. The only one who is infallible is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with the grace of Allah Azza wa Jal, who corrects him if he were to make an error or a mistake. Others, no. They do mistakes like crazy. So focus and keep your eyes on the ball. A woman must deal with her husband with respect and obedience, because this is what will admit her to Jannah. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, 4 things. If a woman succeeds in doing them, she will enter Jannah. If she prays her fard prayers, the 5 daily prayers, fasts her Ramadan, protects her chastity, and obeys her husband, she will enter paradise from any gate she wants. And this, by itself, is nothing compared to what men have to do in order to qualify to enter Jannah. So we think. But indeed, it's a heavy burden and a great task for women to undertake. And this is their test in this life. In the authentic hadith, in the incident of Ifk, where the hypocrites slandered Mother Aisha, in the long hadith in Bukhari and elsewhere, when she discovered what they were plotting and saying behind her back, she fell sick. But she said, O Prophet of Allah, do you permit me to visit my parents? This, the scholars say, is a clear indication that a woman must not leave her house without the permission of her husband. Now, generally speaking, normal husbands give an open permission. I give my wife an open permission to leave wherever she wants, to go wherever she wants. because I trust her. I have no problem with that. However, my wife, till date, does not go without informing me, I'm going to my mom's house, I'm going to do this or that, I'm going to visit a friend. And I say, you don't have to say that to me. She said, no, I feel it's my obligation. And this is normal. But if the husband insists, in this case, yes, you have to seek his permission. Having said that, some men exaggerate and they make their wives live in a prison. So they totally force them to boycott their family. Don't go and visit your parents. You're not allowed to see your siblings. You're not allowed to go out. And the woman feels suffocated. Now, in so many cases, such relationships end up in divorce, but after it's too late, like after 20 years or so. This is due to the woman being too submissive. Yes, you're obliged to obey him, but there is a limit. When the man exceeds logic and rationale, and he insists, your gold that your parents gave you, that my family gave you, that your friends gave you, you have to give it to me, I'll keep it with my mom. And she complies. Are you nuts? Why would you give it to him? Oh, he's my husband, Sheikh. So what? He does not have any right over your financial possessions. Say no. Oh, he may threaten me to divorce. The hell with him. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. So what? It's better to live with dignity and honor and set the record straight with this man instead of him using you as a doormat. Yes, you are obliged to obey him, to honor him, to be dutiful to him, but he's not allowed to transgress. So your financial accounts, I need your ATM, I have to know the password. Show me your mobile, show me your passcode, show me your emails, tell me the passwords. Why? You make him wipe his feet every time he enters the door because you're a doormat, you deserve what you get. Draw the line and tell him, listen, hon, we're a husband and wife. I'm obliged to obey you, but you're obliged to respect me and to treat me like a woman, not like a servant or a slave. And unfortunately, we have an imbalance. And this imbalance causes a lot of such problems.